Namaskar. This is Akhilesh Bhargav. Welcome to Tidbits on Business and Finance with me. With a ferocious second COVID wave having battered India, resulting in a national lockdown of sorts and a huge slowdown in economic activity, a lot has happened in the Indian economy between 1st February, when the 2021 budget was presented, to now, in a matter of just about 4 months. It's an enormous change in the economic topography of India, which has certainly not been for the better. Let us examine the very relevance and validity of the 2021 budget in June today and beyond in the current financial year 2022. In the run up to the 2021 budget, the customary economic survey had estimated that the Indian economy will grow by about 11% in financial year 2022, as one of the very basic assumptions that evidently went into the budget formulation. The chief economic advisor had then repeatedly said that green shoots of recovery in the economy were visible to him and that the Indian economy had witnessed a sharp V-shaped recovery. The ruling party had also banished fears of COVID, with the BJP boasting that the virus had been tamed due to deft and ingenious management by the government. Jobs seemed to be trickling back, and corporate results were buoyant due to significant cost cutting by companies. In February, the overall mood of the government was upbeat, and the finance minister and her top team confidently predicted a rapid revival of the Indian economy in financial year 22. It was this upbeat and bullish confidence and also the compliance of the government that was writ large on the 2021 budget proposals, as is evident from the finance minister's budget speech. Here are some relevant extracts of her budget speech, which show the kind of misplaced, upbeat optimism that the government then had when they presented the budget. She said, "Today's data shows that India now has one of the lowest death rates of 112 per million population and one of the lowest active cases of 130 per million. This has laid the foundation to the revival we are now seeing in the economy," said the finance minister. She then said that "I want to confidently state that the government is fully prepared to support and facilitate the economy's reset. This budget," she said, "provides every opportunity for our economy to raise and capture the pace that it needs for sustainable growth." Further, she mentioned 2021 to be a year of many important milestones for our history, one of which she mentioned as the Haridwar Mahakumbh, which eventually turned out to be a super spreader. The FM then said that for a 5 trillion economy, our manufacturing has to grow in double digits on a sustainable basis. She said, "I propose a sharp increase in capital expenditure and have thus provided rupees 5.54 lakh crores, which is 34.5% more than the budget estimates for financial year 2021. Nirmala Sitharaman further said that "I have estimated rupees 1,75,000 crores as receipts from disinvestment in budget estimates 2021-22. On the fiscal front, in the matter of government spending, she said that to ensure that the economy is given the required push, our budget estimates for expenditure in 21-22 are rupees 34.83 lakh crores. This, she said, includes 5.54 lakh crores as capital expenditure, an increase of 34.5% over the budget figures of 2020-21. According to her, the fiscal deficit in 21-22 was estimated to be 6.8% of GDP. She further said that the gross borrowing from the market for the next year would be about 12 lakh crores. She said, "We plan to continue with our path of fiscal consolidation. We hope to achieve," she said, "the consolidation by first increasing the buoyancy of tax revenue through improved compliance, and secondly, by increased receipts from monetization of assets of the government, including public sector enterprises and land." That is what was the upbeat budget statements which were mentioned by the finance minister in her budget speech. But with a fierce second COVID wave taking a complacent and thus ill-prepared government by surprise, resulting in massive COVID casualties and also triggering a lockdown and an economic disruption, the Indian economy today in June 2021 does not represent that upbeat scenario. It is far more weaker and emaciated than what it was in February when the 2021 budget was presented by the finance minister. The differences are there to see. Echoing this difference in the state of the economy between February and June now, the rating agency Moody's says that the decline in economic activity due to the second COVID wave has built up risks of a slowdown in growth, weak government finances, and rising financial sector risks in India, which are a risk to India's credit profile and rating. Moody's further says that as uncertainty persists, the damage to the economy due to COVID-2 will be far worse than what it was in the case of COVID-1. State Bank of India is on the same page as Moody's. It has slashed its growth estimates for financial year 2022 for India from the earlier optimistic and bullish 10.4% to a moderate and tepid 7.9% now, and it expects at best a W-shaped economic recovery in India. SBI points out that even this growth rate is only due to the benefit of a low base effect. The Business Confidence Survey of FICCI also indicates something similar. Its survey says that the demand conditions in the current financial year 22 are expected to remain weak, with household incomes severely impacted and the past savings already consumed by the first COVID wave. The fact of the matter is that what may have looked hyped but yet may be a bit plausible for optimists in February 2021 is no longer so, whether in respect of the government's growth estimates or in respect of expectation of return of jobs or household income or return of consumer demand and spending and the condition of government finances itself. Uncertainty prevails and so does confusion, with somebody as senior as the CEO of HDFC Bank saying that for the first time in so many years, they do not have a grip on what's happening. A Sea Water survey also echoes these findings. It says that a large number of people say that living standards in India have fallen and that most of them do not see any ray of hope in the coming 12 months. This was not the scenario in February 2021 when the budget was presented, but it is so now and it appears to be even more bleaker. As per a recent Reuters report, it is a battered and shattered Indian economy at present due to the second COVID wave. Reuters says that check bouncing rate in India in May 2021 has doubled to 21% from a year ago, and that credit card defaults have risen to 18%. It says that there is a surge in job loss in India and also in debt default. Reuters further says that the impact of the second wave has been devastating and economists are downgrading India's growth estimates. According to it, COVID deaths have dealt a psychological blow and consumers are reluctant to spend because of the lockdown, because of rising fatalities, because of surging unemployment and the fear of a third wave coming back. It says that sale of goods including grocery, apparels, footwear and beauty products are down by 49% in India. Auto sales, including 2 and 4-wheeler sales, are down by 30% in April and could be down by 60% in May. And unemployment, according to Reuters, has touched a 12-month high in May 2021. And finally, Reuters says that the damage to the economy is deep and rules out any V-shaped recovery or a quick bounce back, as the CEA very often contends. The budget is a pure financial statement, as a pure statement of the government's finances and cash flow for the year. That is, where is the money going to come from for the government and where will it spend during the year, which the budget inherently is a document of presentation. The budget that was presented in February 2021 is truly no longer quite valid and relevant in terms of this radically changed and diminished position of the Indian economy. A receding economy means receding government receipts, a receding cash flow, and that places a question mark on the government's ambitious budget spending that the finance minister had presented, that 34.5% increase in government capital spending that she had mentioned. The reality is that the budget doesn't really seem to be relevant today. The FM, however, says that it is too early to say so and that the budget's expenditure package should be allowed to play out since it was designed for a COVID affected economy. We think it was designed for a COVID affected economy, but it did not factor the return of COVID wave 2. The chief economic advisor expectedly chips in to say that the budget numbers were relatively very conservative and hence the impact of the second COVID wave will not be too large. We think otherwise. We think that the impact is going to be large and that what was stated in February 21 in the budget does not seem to be valid in June 21. An entire quarter of financial year 22 looks likely to be lost, and the deep and long-term distress due to COVID is there for all of us to see. And that will certainly dampen and depress government receipts, government cash flows, and thus its expenditure also. To us, it is time for pressing the reset button on the 2021 budget, factoring in a radically changed scenario and the diminished and damaged macros that it is founded on. And of course, those are the macros, the diminished and damaged macros that it needs to address. The dominant feature of a budget reset has to be a genuine and generous fiscal stimulus in order to support and revive a doddering economy. Let the real situation and the real numbers of the crisis emerge before we are swamped by a third COVID wave, which we sincerely hope we do not yet have it. The first was enough. The second has given a deadly blow to the economy. The third one is going to be something different. We hope it doesn't occur. This is Akhilesh Bhargav signing off till we meet again. Namaskar.
Hello everyone. HW News English is 2 years old now. When we started this venture, we promised ourselves one thing, that news should remain free, because right to know is the right of every Indian. But to keep news free for everyone, we need support from some of you. And thus we have rolled out membership on our YouTube channel HW News English. But mind you, the membership is completely voluntary. The programs that we were doing earlier, that we are doing now, will continue to remain free. First level is a basic level. Here, you can be our supporter by paying Rs 199 per month. This membership gives you certain perks and benefits. The perks include unique badges in front of your name, a live show from Mr. Sujit Nair and from Mr. Akhilesh Bhargava per month for our members. You can also vote in some exclusive members-only polls. Now the second level is Super Supporter. Here you can be our Super Supporter by paying Rs 3,999 per month. This membership will include every perk that comes with basic level. Additionally, our Super Supporters can be a part of a WhatsApp group where we can have discussions and suggestions on various topics. The second perk includes a gift pack with our merchandise. And the third perk is a Google Meet with Mr. Sujit Nair, where you can join the meet and ask your questions to Mr. Nair face to face. Lastly, if you like, we would give a shout out to our super supporters in our programs. So, hope to see you soon with our badges.
पता है इन सब लोगों में एक चीज कॉमन है, गैस करिए क्या? नहीं पता? चलिए एक हिंट देती हूँ, ये सब आपके परिवार से जुड़े हैं। अरे फिर भी नहीं पहचाना आपने इन्हें? चलिए कोई बात नहीं, वैसे भी ये लोग पर्दे के पीछे ही तो काम करते थे। इन सब की डेथ हो गई है कोविड से, ताकि आप और आपका परिवार सेफ रह सके। और यही तो है परिवार का मतलब, अपनों की रक्षा करना। जो हमारे लिए जान दे सकते हैं वो अपने सगे नहीं तो फिर कौन है? मुंबई पुलिस।